Where is Kada? You know, she had the overnight shift. She just clocked in and then suddenly leaves. She had never done anything like that before.
She is not seen after that. We know her phone goes dead. It has not been on since. This sparkling, beautiful.
This girl has just turned 23. She's a little baby.
Keon King. He is charged with Kada's kidnapping.
Put some heat on him to question him as to where Kada is. Find this girl.
Where was he? Where had he been? Is he keeping her alive somewhere? Where is Kada? Joining me in an all-star panel, but I want to go straight out to Brian Fitzgibbons joining us, Director Operations, USPA Nationwide Security, leading a team of expert investigators around the world specializing in locating missing people. You can find him at uspasecurity.com. Brian, I don't like that he is driving around all around town, because when I've seen that happen, it's off his normal route. Okay, it's not like you going to work or you going to your site where you're working, in your case, going to the grocery store, going to church, going to synagogue, going to the school to pick up your children. It's none of that. This is just driving aimlessly around Philadelphia and the suburban area. Look, I lived in Philly. There are a lot of places you could hide a living person, abandoned buildings, all sorts of places. Or worse. What do they need to be doing right now, Fitzgibbons?
As you saw in that Philly police presser, Nancy, everything is focused on this 99 gold-colored Toyota. They are tracking that vehicle all over the city. Now, as you brought up, this is outside of a normal behavior pattern. This vehicle is seen in the last 10 days in the north of the city, in the south, east, west, inside of these densely wooded areas that are around these population centers. So right now, the public's role is to help find that vehicle. What police are doing is everything at their disposal: license plate readers, ring cameras, security cameras, any footage of that vehicle along with Keon King's cell phone. That's what they're tracking right now.
Guys, we're showing you the car again. Let's take a look at it. This is a 99 golden color Toyota Camry. Look at the damage on the front left. Look at that. And along the driver's side of the car. Looks like he sideswiped somebody at some point. That may be the key to finding Kada. I'm also curious about the moment they took him into custody for questioning. Where was he? Where had he been? Can he be tracked by his cell phone? The reality is, Derek Smith joining me, criminal defense attorney website, dwsmithlegal.com. Very often we can get in a jousting competition with local carriers like AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and you have to give them a subpoena, and it takes them forever to get the records. When there is an emergency request by police and a life hangs in a balance, you can get those records a lot more quickly. Agree, disagree, Derek Smith?
Absolutely, Nancy. I mean, in cases of emergencies, there's laws or statutes in place that enable law enforcement to speed up the process and get necessary documents or information from third parties in this situation, such as cell phone carriers, in order to triangulate, try to figure out where these people may be. If they're using their phone, obviously in this case, we saw that the phone was turned off, but there's other things that they can do in order to speed things up pursuant to an investigation.
Well, hold on. Derek Smith, don't go DEFCON 4 on me. Listen, you throw out the phrase triangulate. Explain to everyone what that means. And remember, we don't have to look for just her phone that was apparently cut off.
Right.
We can follow his phone because they were traveling together. You know, if he cut her phone off, that doesn't mean her phone wasn't still with him. Okay, explain triangulation quickly.
Yes, Nancy. So these cell phone providers can, with the FBI, local law enforcement, they can track a person's whereabouts pursuant to if they have their phone on them. They use the SIM cards, and they can follow their progress, either whether driving in a car, whether walking on the street. they can use the pings off local cell phone towers to get kind of an idea of where they are geographically and follow their path to see where they're going, where they may have discarded evidence. If they stop in a certain area for a period of time, they can say, all right, the cell phone ping stopped for about 10, 15 minutes. Why was this person in this area for this period of time? Let's go check that area out, and so on and so forth. And that stuff is very important in an investigation, especially in a missing persons, to find out where they may be and where they may have gone.
Joining me, as you met earlier, Brian Fitzgibbons, USPA Nationwide Security, whose expertise is finding missing people. I find it disturbing that, she had the overnight shift, right? And then suddenly she just clocked in and then suddenly leaves. And from what we're being told, she had never done anything like that before. I find that to be very probative. In other words, it proves something to me. Like, if you got up from that seat and that studio right now, tonight, and walked out, I would know something was horribly wrong because you've never done that before. I would assume there was an emergency. Similar to what Kada did that night at the assisted living where she worked. She had never done that before.
Well out of the course of her normal behavior, Nancy. And we also see in the videos that she's sharing that this is an incredibly disciplined young woman with goals. She's got a prayer wall hung up on her bedroom wall. She's talking about her education plan. She's got fitness goals that she's pursuing. This is not somebody that shows up to work and just bounces 20 minutes later. So taking that in conjunction with the fact that she was receiving these harassing texts and phone calls, this is very concerning and out of the ordinary.
Now, this is alarming, but looks can be deceiving. Listen.
Making it very clear that the case was shifted to homicide because we have the most experienced investigators in our homicide unit. They have the most experience dealing with all types of investigations. They also have the most resources available to them. And so we have the hopes that we are still treating this as if Ms. Scott is still alive. And that's why we want the public's help in trying to locate every single piece of this. But I just wanted to make that clear because I know that there's been some reports once it shifted over to homicide, folks not understanding the why. And so that's the reason behind that.
Very often we see a case go from kidnapping to homicide because homicide has more resources. That's very, very common. Weigh in, Fitzgibbons.
You're going to have more detectives in that work homicide, number one. Number two, the resources that they have to fire out search warrants, the technological resources and savvy and know-how is going to go way up. So bringing them in makes a lot of sense and something that we've seen across the country a number of times.
Guys, the case has been, it's been declared now a joint effort between kidnapping and homicide. Homicide has a lot more resources, detectives, power, expertise, you name it. That's why that's the cream of the crop that goes to homicide.